Well, hey, howdy, hi, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by to join me today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Ellie, and I'm a witch. And this over here is my teaching assistant, Andy. And first of all, Merry Christmas to everyone. Today is Christmas Day, and is also a Monday, which is why we'll be talking about a history topic. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the history of Christmas. But today's video might offend some people. Not that I particularly care, as I've stated many a time, I am a witch. So with that, I believe in two pagan religions specifically. And while I try not to speak about religion on my channel, that's one thing that I'm not particularly comfortable doing, because I have my beliefs, you all have yours, and that is nobody else's business in my opinion. But in college, I have studied religion, and I think that this early kind of time period that I'm going to be talking about, the transition from the more pagan religions into Christianity, is a really interesting time because of everything that changed or got adopted, and it's just really interesting to see kind of where everything came from, especially when we talk about what we practice in modern day, whether that be related to a religion or not. It is really interesting to just kind of see where everything came from, and that's just how I feel about it. So I just want to make that very clear. Not trying to offend anybody, and I don't care what your religion is, so please don't tell me in the comments. You know, you keep yours, I'll keep mine, we're gonna keep this respectful. But I am gonna go ahead and talk about the history of Christmas from its pagan origins. So to speak of Christmas, we can't leave out Saturnalia, Yule, and several other pagan rituals and celebrations. Of course, Christmas didn't start out of nowhere, and it was actually based on and created from other traditions. And these beliefs actually go back to the creation of Stonehenge. The original traditions stem from the time of year, commonly known as the winter solstice, and some of the traditions have withstood the test of time, but with very different meanings. I should also clarify what paganism is, as I know a lot of people are going to try to say this is somehow demonic or related to devil worship, when that's not the case at all. Paganism, or pagans, refers to any religion or person who practices any religion that is not Christian. It most commonly refers to Roman polytheism, however it applies to the Norse religion, the Celts, Hellenism. It's generally a term used to refer to religions that believe in multiple gods, but it can also refer to any belief system that doesn't line up with Christian beliefs. As I said, we can actually trace back the importance of December to Stonehenge. In this case, it was the importance of the midwinter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year and falls on December 21st. So the top of the largest stone aligns with the sunrise on that day, and the people of the Neolithic period would celebrate this time with feasts, the sharing of mead, they held parties with bone flutes for entertainment, and of course, plenty of dancing. Then we see the Romans celebrate Saturnalia, which is celebrated during the time of the winter solstice. This festival was to honor the god Saturn, or Kronos from Hellenism, who they viewed as responsible for agriculture. Now, this festival lasted a week, from December 17th to December 24th, and the purpose was to celebrate the successful harvest and, of course, to ask for another bountiful harvest in the coming year. Now, if we look at where we currently celebrate Christmas, many of us celebrate it as a season. We start celebrating well before the 25th of December. Some people start on the 1st. When we open advent calendars for the first time, and then the 12 days of Christmas are considered a part of the celebrations, and then before our big celebration on the 21st, the Romans did the same as well. The 17th through the 24th was part of the celebration. However, the biggest day of the celebration was on the 25th, and this day actually had its own name, and it was called Vermalia. This whole festival was also a time of equality among the Roman people. Slaves and the upper class and everyone in between were seen as the same. Everyone was allowed to partake in the celebrations. They also elected a Roman to be the Lord of Misrule and oversee the festivities for the month of December. Now, there is no evidence to support what I am about to say next. However, there has been a lot of folklorists who have come to say it's true and happened regularly. So, at the end of the festivities, the Lord of Misrule would be sacrificed to the god Saturn to guarantee a bountiful harvest in the coming year. This was not the only Roman celebration that occurred during that time, however. The other festival being Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, which is the birth of the invincible sun, and this was actually for the Iranian sun god Mirtha. Now, this god is the god of sun, justice, and war, and actually comes from pre-Zoroastrian Iranian beliefs. So Mirtha was related to the Roman sun god Sol, and Emperor Aurelian declared that Sol's birthday is December 25th, and that was only celebrated by male members of the upper class in Rome. The other big influence on Christmas is, of course, Yule. This was celebrated by the Norse people, and we can actually trace Christmas most closely to Yule. So the Yule celebration lasts 12 days, where people drink, feast, dance, and light huge bonfires. Now, the Yule tree was decorated during that time, and they would light their Yule logs, and a big part of the festivities was a Yule ham, and this was because the boar was sacred to the god Freyr. The Greeks also had their own 12 days of celebration, and they called that Bacchanalia, and this was in celebration of the god Dionysus. The celebration included feasting, heavy drinking, dancing, and of course the encouraged rowdiness, and this celebration came to its head on December 25th, which is the birth date of Dionysus. So the Christmas traditions that we see today often have roots or are stolen directly from these early pagan traditions. Now, the Romans would hang metal ornaments on their doors during Saturnalia, each ornament representing a specific god or family patron saint. Evergreen trees and items made from them were important to Egyptians, Hebrews, and Chinese cultures as they represented everlasting life. They were also important to the Norse mythology, and the early Germanic people would actually decorate trees with fruits and candles in honor of Odin. Of course, then you have gift giving, which can come in many forms. In these pagan rituals, there would be some gift giving, and there would be a lot of the sharing of food items during that time in order to bring favor with the gods. Caroling also comes from these early celebrations, specifically the Anglo-Saxon people. They would go door to door singing to the residents, but they called it wassailing, and the point of the songs was to wish the residents well and to keep away evil spirits. Now, the wassailers would also carry a drink with them. It was made from mulled ale, roasted apples, spices, eggs, sugar, and curdled cream, which is essentially the original spiced apple cider recipe. We also get mistletoe and holly from pagan celebrations, as these were sacred for pagan gods. Romans would create and even trade wreaths made from holly. Mistletoe was important in Roman, North Celtic, and Druid beliefs. For the Romans, they would have sex under the mistletoe to ensure a bountiful harvest, and Druids believed it represented peace and joy, and if two enemies were to meet under the mistletoe, they would drop their weapons and a truce would be enacted that lasted the rest of the day. So the version of the celebration that we see today really started in ancient Rome. Obviously, we can see a lot of similarities between these pagan traditions and Christmas. So, early Christians, you would use these similarities to hide their own separate beliefs. Christians would decorate their homes with holly rather than having a wreath. This way they could identify each other yet not be caught. It also worked that Jesus' birthday just so happened to coincide with the biggest day of Saturnalia. This was just the start of how we celebrate today. Of course, it would change as the years went on, and people no longer had to hide how they celebrated, and people were more welcoming of mixing traditions to get what we have today. So that's all I have for you. A little bit short and a little bit sweet. This was a lot of fun to research. Just because I'm not a big fan of Rome. I'm sorry. My family is Greek. I love ancient history, specifically ancient Greek history, but I have to say kudos to the Romans. They really knew how to party. So this was a lot of fun to research. A lot of stuff that I didn't know, although I've never really dove into the history of Christmas, but this has actually been a lot of fun to research, like the history of Santa Claus, history of Christmas. It's been really good, and I can't wait till next year when I get to learn a whole bunch of other new things related to Christmas. But I do hope you guys have a great rest of your Christmas day. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, and Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday in the comments. I would really appreciate that. And if you didn't like the video, hit that thumbs down button and tell me what you think I could improve in the comments down below. I, of course, welcome constructive criticism. And with all that being said, have a good rest of your day, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.